Welcome to EconoChat Let's Talk Business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Steinman, and a warm welcome, of course, a very warm welcome to our listeners, as always. And today, quite an interesting talk ahead of us, and I should say something that I am looking forward to learning today, and the Black Swan. Something that we don't hear when we talk about, the economy. The Black Swan, we will talk about it probably on the runway, but definitely not about the economy. So, Mr. Daniel Steinman, you gotta tell us, what is the Black Swan?
Elspeth, don't tell me you've never seen a black swan.
I've seen one.
In the zoo or in a bird park?
Well, let's just say I've traveled to a few countries in my lifetime.
Okay. Do you know where they come from?
No, I haven't done my research on that.
They are Aussies. They are Australians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the concept Black Swan is a very well-known economic concept. But it basically comes from philosophy, and it was made popular, I think, around about 1992, 93, by a guy with the name of Nassim Taleb. Now, Nassim Taleb was nobody's fool. He was a Lebanese, but he lectured at universities in the United States, and he was mathematician, and his forte, his discipline was mathematical modeling, basically very similar to what an actuary does.
Okay.
Make very complicated calculations, tell you this is how the feature is going to work out, and then tell you it's gospel. So he borrowed the term Black Swan from John Stuart Mill, who used it around about 1851. And John Stuart Mill borrowed the term from Juvenal, a Latin writer about 100 years before Jesus was born. And he used the concept, he was a satirist, he wrote satire. Satire is a nice term for being sarcastic. But this is what they did more than 2,000 years ago. And Juvenal used the expression in nigri signi, which is the possessive case of nigrus cygnus, which is in Latin simply means black swan. So this is now the history of the whole thing. So the big question is, what does it mean for us? Why do we use it today? And both Juvenal and John Stuart Mill, they still used it in the context of what we would say when the heaven falls on our heads. Something that would never ever happen. Why? Because they approached the rest of the world from a typical Western perspective. Yeah. They were unaware that they actually share the globe with other people. And because they, remember now, this is before Australia was discovered. So there were no black swans in Europe or North Africa or wherever, and that is why they used the expression. Nassim Taleb, very interesting, very accomplished mathematician, but, and this is now the catch, he worked in risk management. And that should be the catchphrase. If I talk about a black swan and I mention risk, it should alert you to the fact that we are dealing here with eventualities that we do not control. So have you completed the circle now?
Yes,
From there where Juvenal said, you will never ever in your life see a black swan. It was copied by Mill. It was used by Nassim Taleb. Why? Because now we actually know that there are black swans. A bit far from our part of the globe, but they are there. So he published this book in 2002, I think, Taleb now, called The Black Swan. But by that time, he was already a fairly accomplished analyst, and he was widely recognized for his mathematical work. And he used it to describe events like the 1929 stock market crisis or the 1987 stock market crash. So Taleb was the guy that took the philosophical concept Black Swan and applied it to economic events.
Okay.
And that left us with black swans until today. And there's a whole, you can see it's a concept of the last 30 or 35 years. So there's a whole history of exactly what it means for us.
And when we come back, we will probably just answer that question, what it means for us.